How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to Wednesdays with Whitney. I'm Whitney, and today I'm here with Ryan Bruner.
How's it going?
President of YPC, and Jessie Cruz, President-elect of YPC. And for those of you who don't know, YPC stands for
Young Professionals Connection.
Woo! So we are here to talk about that particular topic today with these two lovely people who are super engaged in our community and making a great space for young people to get involved. So,
this is going to be, I'm a little bit nervous because I watch this every Wednesday, and so I'm just hoping I can live up to the expectation that everyone has.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. We've got a great topic. So, I got involved in YPC, about a year ago now?
Yeah.
Around there. So, I reached out to YPC just on a whim because I wanted to talk about litter. You guys have heard me talk about litter quite a bit, and I wanted to figure out how. I knew that YPC was the right organization because you guys do so many philanthropic things, you're very engaged in the community, and it's all young people. So I wanted to host a litter meetup connection thing, but I didn't know who or how to do that with. And I sent an email to your just general, like, hey, YPC. And somebody reached out and was like, yeah, totally, let's do that. So last year, I think I hosted 2 or maybe 3 litter pickups with YPC, and we'll be doing those again when it gets warm outside and we can actually see the ground. Aren't we all looking forward to that? But that's how I got involved in YPC, and I've just been so impressed with you guys. I went to your gala this year, and just to see all those people on stage, like, how impressive.
It's really impressive to be involved with an organization that truly is just a group of people that are looking to give back and better their community. And to be around those people is energizing, it's inspiring. To be around people like yourself is energizing and inspiring. And to get to work with board members like Jessie is a treat.
Well, your board is huge.
Yes.
Like, do you know how many people are on your board? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, we have a total of 16 board members this year.
Oh my gosh, and that's enormous. And like, would you say that age-wise, do you have a general idea of what ages are just in your community?
For our general membership, it's probably anywhere from a recent college grad or a college student to someone who's in their 40s. Awesome. It can really range. Our board it's generally 20 to mid 30s or 40s.
Yeah. And so these are all people who are getting involved in the community, volunteering their time. I mean, you guys spend a lot of time every week on YPC activities, communications. Sure. Like, tell me about your... Are we still going? I got a phone call. Okay, we're good. Great.
Okay. I would say in terms of time, mostly just really investing in meetings and where people are coming together. I would say our board, it just ranges, but everyone's doing something they really truly care about. So for us, it's not even work. It's just something that you get to do for fun and help other people, and also you get some benefit out of it too.
Oh, totally. I think giving is one of the most selfish things you can do, because you're like, you get to give, and then at least my whole philosophy on giving is that whatever you give out, you get back 10 times over.
I hands down agree with that.
Yeah. I think YPC is just a great model for that. All of you guys that are up there doing the hard work and connecting the people, like, it seems so satisfying for you.
It truly is. I mean, I know that part of being in YPC is just being a part of the organization and being a part of that group of people that are invested and they're already looking to better their community. So, when you meet people in these types of organizations, they're already investing in the community, and if you have shared interest, you have those types of things, you make friends, and those are the type of people that will invest in friendships, will invest in relationships, and I've met so many great people, and I'm just really blessed.
Yeah. So when Ryan and I chatted, this was like a bunch of months ago, you reached out and were like, I watch Wednesdays with Whitney all the time. Literally, I always see Ryan like, I'm watching. So when Jessie and Ryan and I talked about putting together this for you guys today, just tell me about like your interest in this space and like Wednesdays with Whitney in general. Like, what was appealing about this to you guys?
I have a few things.
Okay, so, I'm excited.
And they might sound like I'm sucking up a little bit.
Oh no, are we brown nosing?
Yes, a little bit. And I just started watching because it was an opportunity for me to see someone in the community, working to better the community, and then really just to have as kind of a role model. And to see different people that you would bring in from different organizations. And it gave me a better perspective on who are some of the great and strong and engaged, powerful women in the community.
Yeah.
And this year, as the president of YPC, I'm constantly working with powerful women in the community. And I need to be able to have, a pretty good view on the different perspectives that kind of brings to the table.
Totally.
And I just need to be, more willing to listen and learn first in this position. And I think this gives me a great opportunity to learn from others, and especially from different organizations as well.
Well, I think that's the most fun part about doing Wednesdays with Whitney, period, is the conversations that I get to have and like the learning process.
Sure.
And it's kind of transformed into a platform for people to come and just share how they're engaging in the community or what they're putting out there.
Well, and I was going to say, for me, one thing that I am really happy to be here is that you encompass a lot of what we talk about with YPC. So one thing that we're very proud of is that we are member driven. And so if a member comes to us with an idea, for you it was trash pickup.
Let's pick up litter.
Yeah, and it was how can we come together to create this partnership, and we're very, very proud of that. And that's something that I think as you, that's your passion, but then you said, hey, here's another resource in the community that we can all work together. So that's something that we would encourage, and something that, this is a great platform to say, Whitney came to us with an idea, and then, we were able to execute, and it was a great event.
Oh my gosh, and you guys made it so easy on me. I was like, I just want like people to show up. Like, how do I get that happen? And like, you guys because you have so many people involved in the infrastructure, you were able to help me set that up and be such a resource. And I was working with Emily Van Osbree, now Webb, at the time. And she just took it over and was like, hey, this is what's going to happen. And like, you just, give me some content. I'm like, I can totally do that.
Yeah. And so for me, that's one thing that I think is perfect. And we'd love to see more people bringing ideas and how we can really support that in the Des Moines community, especially from a young professional perspective. What is it that everyone cares about? So.
Yeah. I love that. So let's just dive right into like, what is YPC all about?
All right.
Yeah.
You want to kind of give
Yeah,
us
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Just
I'm just going right there. So really our main focus is how can we provide events that are valuable as well as interesting to any young professional that comes to Des Moines. So if you're professionally development, if that's something that's really big for you, if you're civically driven, if you're socially driven, if we want to provide an environment for your interest to foster that growth. And so I would say that's really what YPC stands for. Our mission is to attract and retain talent here in Des Moines.
Attract and retain.
Yes, we love it. And so the way we do that is by providing all the different outlets for
there's
interest.
So much. If you go to the YPC calendar, I'm like, so I could just pick a day and pick where I'm going to show up. And for me, like, every time I see something on Facebook, like, oh, they're doing this, I'm like, okay, great. Like, I know that I can show up, and I'm going to have interesting conversations with interesting people that do something completely different than me.
Yep. And that's a great point you said on showing up. Half of all leadership, half of all community engagement is just showing up.
Totally. I think it's more than half, isn't it? Like 80%.
Yeah.
That's
20
truly what it is. And our membership, we want to engage you and make sure that your voice is heard. So if in this kind of initial first quarter of the year, we want you to engage our board members, reach out. If you have an idea, if you have a thought on where we should go with this next year, we want to hear from you. The membership drives what we do from a goal perspective, from a budget perspective, from everything that we do. Yeah. So I think it's really important. Show up at a meeting, ask questions, and our board's kind of here to serve you.
Love that. Yay. So one of the things that we talked about is that I'd love to talk about the pillars.
Sure.
And just like kind of what those serve, or you guys can speak way more eloquently on this than I can. So can you tell me about the pillars of YPC?
Sure. So professional development, civics, social, volunteer, and diversity are our 5 main ones. And then we also focus on impact downtown. So lots of things happening downtown, and so our impact downtown chair focuses on those. So Brian, am I?
Yeah, I think you're spot on, and those are our pillars. I mean, they're all areas where, civic, if you want to get up and join us on the Hill, for Day on the Hill, for YP Day on the Hill, or get involved in a social aspect of downtown to meet new friends.
Like happy hours and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
happy
Can you,
hours
tell
and
us about
things.
some of the events that happen as a part of this. We talked about litter. Which happens.
That's kind of part of our volunteering segment of
Yep.
it, because we are a community, volunteering, engaging organization. We have professional development. We're always looking for ways to help different types of people grow professionally. We don't want to be put into one cookie cutter box as to we're helping this type of young professionals. We're helping every young professional in the city, and we need to be diverse in kind of how we attack each one of these pillars to make sure that we're offering value to all young professionals in the city.
Well, and something I think about, I'm involved in a lot of different networking groups for different purposes. And a lot of my groups that I belong to are more like, we're all small business owners, and that's why we get together.
Sure.
But what I love about YPC is that you're not all small business owners. You're a lot of everything. And sometimes when you get into your little bubble of like, okay, we're all small business owners and we're going to talk about our small business, like you're missing that diversity of thought where you're like, okay, I want to talk to somebody that is in finances that knows tons of stuff that I don't know. And also like meeting people that have a completely different perspective on their work day or like just in general. Like I think it's fascinating for like me to talk to somebody who works in a corporate environment and vice versa about just in general, what does our work look like? What do our expectations look like? What do we look like what do we get dressed like when we go, I'm usually in jeans, but that's not always appropriate for everybody's work life. So I just love that part about YPC, that it's not for someone specific. It is for everyone.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been something that has helped me kind of understand where I want to go to.
Yeah.
I didn't have to come in with a specific prescribed, offering to the organization.
This is what I do.
Yeah, like they helped me find what I was good at. They allowed me the opportunity to, fail. They allowed me the opportunity to be successful.
Yeah.
You don't have to come in with anything. Come and learn and grow with YPC, and we'll provide you the kind of structure and success opportunities too.
Let's talk about failure.
Yeah.
Because this is one of my favorite topics, and failure and success very frequently go hand in hand. Or people focus on failure, they also focus on success. I think it's one of the really, I don't even know how to talk about this. This is probably, I'm going to stumble a lot, guys. One of the things that's been happening to me this year is people are coming up and they're like, oh, you've experienced so much success, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know what that means, because sometimes when people were saying this, I'm like back at the studio dealing with a huge issue, or I'm about to pay like an enormous amount of money in taxes, and like, is that success? I don't know. And like you just like experiencing something from the inside and the outside is so different. And then failure's the same. Like the things that I have experienced some extreme failure, like both privately and publicly, or like back before I even moved here, like I kind of got a lot of those things out of the way. But failure is a huge part of the process. We have to be able to do that.
Sure. Jessie, do you want to kick off that?
Yeah. I think with failure, the one thing with especially the board, but then also this spreads member-wide, is that YPC is giving a platform for young professionals' voices to be heard. So that could look different from whichever way that you look at it or wherever the interests are.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where failure comes into play, is that it is a platform to say, hey, I have this idea about litter. Even if 3 people showed up, which maybe that was the goal, whatever that might look like, you still find success in that being a topic of conversation.
Totally.
So to me, even if there could be elements of failure, to me there's always a light of success. And I think in YPC, that's one thing that we're really proud of, and we are that platform for those voices to provide that.
Well, if we focus on failure or success being driven by the amount of people that show up, like we're kind of always doomed to fail, right? Like that's just not an achievable goal. I think about when don't we all struggle with that? Like that anxiety. Whenever I put together an event, I'm like, oh my gosh, no one's gonna show up. Like I'm gonna look stupid.
What's the number that means success?
Yeah, and like sometimes I have to get really comfortable with like 3's a great number, guys.
Right, yeah. and that's kind of where I was going with that. There's always nuggets of being successful. So I think that's where our conversation around
and
failure.
I think, failure is such a great opportunity. You have to look at failure as a great opportunity, and I think at this stage in our lives, we're all young professionals, and if we're going to fail, let's fail now. Let's fail, in an organization that doesn't, you're not putting a huge amount of risk. It's a volunteer aspect of your life. So I would really just encourage people to know that failure is okay at YPC. Come and learn and grow.
And try out new things.
Yeah, try out new things. Be creative. Take a risk, and we'll help you in any way possible with that aspect of your life.
I wanted to come back to the word professional and what that means in the context of YPC.
That's a great point. I think just with kind of looking at what we want to be as an organization, we want to be an organization that represents all young professionals, and young professionals can mean anything from an artist to someone who works construction, to someone who works in a different trade or profession, or someone that works at Wells Fargo, or someone that works at Nationwide.
Or a doctor and a lawyer.
Or a doctor and a lawyer.
Traditionally, professional with a capital P has been very strongly associated with doctor, lawyer, what's that called? Degrees that are elevated degrees.
Elevated
Got
degrees.
it.
I'm just gonna go with that. I couldn't get that. I was a theater and communications.
You'd have to choose something completely different. Yeah, I could get one in photography, but let's not talk about getting a master's in an artistic
Statistics
field.
kept me from all of those types of things.
Yeah, as they probably should.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. But I think what I've seen with YPC is that the capital P professional that we are traditionally, associated with that word is not true. That's not like the demographic and not that those professions don't show up, because they certainly do. But it's more it's the young part, the young working people, the people that make up our community of awesomeness.
Yeah.
And I was also going to add one thing that I didn't say. One of the other things that we do is athletics. So we do some really fun, but that kind of follows up with that if that's an interest to you, once again, or if maybe your job is you're more of a trainer or something, maybe that's an interest. And so we're trying to encompass all the different things that a young person might be more interested in versus their day-to-day profession.
Yeah. Right, because you work all day. Like the last thing you want to do after work is show up and do the exact same thing. So
exactly.
I think YPC is that opportunity to learn something that's outside of your comfort zone. That's not, if you work in politics all day long, you don't need to go to the civics things, right? You're gonna know what's going on there, but you might really need a happy hour right now.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Or you might want to go to a show.
Exactly.
Next Friday we have a great event at the Threslow Auditorium.
Cool.
So it's a great.
What is this? Tell me more.
This is. Do you remember the title?
Yeah. So it's Surreal is,
Surreal.
and it's a jazz performance,
Ooh.
and so really interesting. Highly recommend. It's on our calendar for YPC DSM, and it's next Friday, and tickets are available through that. But just engaging more in the arts and culture in that community, and we have a lot of people interested in it. Once again, it's just here's an event that could not be maybe your 8 to 5.
Totally.
It's really just that organization that says bring in that diversity, come as you are and give what you can. I mean, that's how I would describe YPC, because it's really we're there to embrace every idea, we're there to embrace every aspect and every kind of group here in Des Moines. So just come as you are and give what you can.
Well, and I think one of the things I've loved about YPC is that I can show up by myself. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with this, at least at this point in my evolution as a human. I'm pretty used to just showing up by myself and meeting new people.
Sure.
But that's not always been true. Like, if you would have known me in high school, I was very, very quiet and didn't talk to anybody. And that's, I think that YPC does such a good job of welcoming people and talking to people that look, not as familiar. There are those people that you see all the time because they're really connected in YPC, but those people know who the new people are, and I have noticed how they engage people. It's amazing.
It's really good that you say that, because we have to make a point to tell our board members, at these meetings, at these happy hours, at these socials, don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
You already know each other.
Yeah.
Go find someone who isn't talking to anybody, who hasn't been introduced to the group. Go and engage those people. We also have a great group of ambassadors that come to a lot of different events, that are very engaged in our organization, who are kind of serving as that gateway or that welcome committee for
the
the
welcome
organization.
wagon.
Yeah.
Gotta have those people.
So those guys are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think that's the trademark of Des Moines, really, is that, and that's YPC is a huge part of that. Is if you are moving to Des Moines and you don't know anybody, YPC is the perfect place to show up. Or if you're starting something completely new and you're terrified and you just need to make some new friends where you don't have to talk about your new terrifying thing, like go to YPC. Like that's what I started doing. I just showed up at a couple meetings, didn't know anybody, because this was probably 1.5 years ago, where I was just like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, and actually it's kind of a more personal anecdote to that too. Obviously being on the board has been something I've absolutely loved.
Yeah.
But last year I went to a professional development meeting as Jessie, not as board member Jessie, but just really was interested in the topic, and ended up sitting next to someone that we totally hit it off, and she has now become one of my very best friends. And that was, it really was just, hey, we have this interest and we're both interested in the topics. And then I was there by myself, she was there by herself, and we got coffee, and then, found out that we were interested in a lot of things. And so I would say definitely come by yourself, and you could potentially meet. I think we've hung out like almost every week since. So hopefully you're watching. Hi. That's amazing. It's a true story, and I've heard that amongst a lot of different people. That's not a unique story to me. So
that's a great point. I mean, it's the young professionals connection, and everyone moves to a city maybe for a job, maybe for it's a great place to live, it's cheap, it's great for young professionals. But I think one of the integral parts to holding people here is creating a connection to the community. And that's the people. The people are the community.
Relationships.
Yeah, and I have met so many people, and some of these individuals that are now some of my best friends that live in the same building downtown, go on bike rides together, and sometimes we just kind of say there's no YPC talk. We're just friends, we're just engaging in the city. Because that's what it's all about. I mean, as much as we try and have every pillar, we have everything, jobs, we try to promote all these things, community is about connections. And that's what's going to hold people here in the long term. So
I love that. I think that's the perfect way to end this.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah, I think it was. I think we were successful. No failure here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we might have misstepped on a few words, but we got through it.
I felt like I was going like this. Felt real weird. But
thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you
guys
for being here. It was an honor. And if you want to get a hold of these guys, how can they get a hold of you to talk about things they're interested in?
I would go to ypcdsm.com to check out our calendar for upcoming events. I would also encourage you to reach out to board members. If you have an event, if you have an initiative that you want to see YPC engage in, let us know. We're looking for ideas, and we want to hear from our membership. We want to hear from people who are not members, because we want to hear your voice, and that's what's going to be important to us in 2018.
Also, I was going to say our calendar is stock full of events, as Whitney mentioned, so ypcdsm.com, and then just click calendar, and you'll see all of the upcoming events that we have for this month.
Yay!
Beautiful.
High fives.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.